Hello to everyone. First of all, this is not what I prepared for. I was hoping for 2 people, 3 tops maybe, because the topic, well, first of all it's misleading, and second of all, I don't think it's that interesting. But that's well, my opinion. Yes, everyone get the last 3 spots. So yes, I'm getting really nervous now. Thank you for the great turnout. And I need to apologize because I'm a bit ill. So if I'm coughing or sneezing or blowing my nose during the talk, then please excuse me. But yes, let's start. Think before you click, or how I started my career in information security. Oh, we have the heavy guns here. It is a little fairy tale story. We start with a character. That's me. My name is Jaan. I work as a service owner by day, well, SecOps engineer at night, and it's quite a lot of work during the night. I work for big bank. I have a developer background, and I have lots of interests. Really a lot. It includes mainly boring subjects like mathematics, IT security, geohashing, numismatics, physics, reading, robotics, geeky stuff. And yes, the little fairy tale starts about 5 to 6 years ago. So once upon a time, there was this developer who made websites. One of the customers was a holiday homes provider, and the website got defaced. Of course, because I was the responsible developer, I had to investigate what's happening, how did this happen, everything related to this. Found a couple SQLIs, well, SQL injections, cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. Didn't know back then what they were then. Just, ooh, you can do funny stuff with this. Really interesting. Started Googling stuff. Found out that, oh, this is an amazing world. I can do stuff on websites that I created that should be secure. I am actually ashamed for writing bad code in the past. And everyone who writes bad code should be ashamed. This is a fact. The result of this defacement was actually real financial loss to the customer. Because the website, unfortunately the website is not up anymore. The customer has gone bankrupt. I double-checked it. But yes, because it had a booking function, so you could actually book like all of those small houses, and the way a competitor tried to get them out of business was to book every single house within the next 6 months or so. Yes, if no one shows up, they can unbook it and so on. But if you see on the website that, oh, all the houses are booked for the next 6 months or so, then no one's gonna like recheck every day if something's. So yeah, a real financial loss to the customer. I of course rewrote the whole application, and same thing happened 2 weeks later. What happened next was panic. Quite a lot of panic actually. Well, on my side at least, not on the customer side. As explained it previously, the bug was actually a really simple SQL injection with a cross-site scripting vulnerability included in it. So everything that the user could input to the website was directly sent to the database. All database responses were actually sent back to the user, so you could do whatever you wanted within the website's database. And one of the main problems was that there was no proper session management. I had thought of stuff like, oh, you can't write into a different table. You can't like do all this kind of stuff. But you could still get like the whole content of the table, or all of the tables. That wasn't the issue there. And yes, session management was one of the main issues back then. So a stored cross-site scripting vulnerability, public admin folder, allowed the attacker to get admin session keys, because session keys were kept in the database. And every time the admin visited, of course, a new session was made. Key was put into the database. Passwords were salted. No passwords were leaked, luckily. But yes, admin environment allowed to change everything, starting from the template, starting from everything, including booking of the rooms. Still ashamed. So, I lost a valuable customer. I actually had to pay for damages. Not a huge sum, lucky for me, but still. The aftermath of this one event was that I actually was reading up on all of the access logs and error logs. What happened? I tried to figure out what actually happened. How did they, how were they hacking this website? Took me a couple days. And I figured out how the site was taken over. And the most important part was I learned how to do it myself. This made me excited. Yes, I could hack one website, but that was not my goal. My goal was actually to investigate how it works, like the methodology behind it, how this works. So, of course, 6 or 7 years ago, I started probing around. I had lots of fun. First, as a script kiddie, what you do is you try your little exploits everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Being an Estonian, you had websites like Rate and I don't know all of them, but yes. If anyone wants the pictures from back from 2007, I might be of help. I still have the database somewhere. If anyone has lost their passwords from 2007 from Rate, I might have your hash for that. Figure out the salt and everything related to it yourself, please. So yes, I had lots and lots of fun. I did build some honeypots, meaning really weak websites, for learning purposes. I wanted to understand how other people actually figure out the vulnerabilities. So I went to chat rooms, said, look, this is a funny website, you can do funny stuff on that, like play games and watch what the admin does. And friends of mine actually started poking it, finding all kind of cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. I put logging behind this, so every action was actually logged. And this gave me some new ideas how to do this, or how to find vulnerabilities. Campaign websites. Anyone care for a free Coca-Cola towel? I think they don't offer this service anymore, probably thanks to me. But on the Dutch Coca-Cola website, I think it was 2008 or 2009, you could actually, when you signed up with your email and gave them a Dutch address, they sent you like a free towel. Back then I was living in the UK. I gave them a UK address, well actually the same UK address with about 1,000 different contact details. Because it's all automated, I received this package with a, well, it came with a lorry, or in a lorry, and yeah, the British Royal Post is still a bit angry at me. They send me spam messages nowadays for being a valued customer. But yes, so we had lots of fun with free Coca-Cola towels.
Sorry, wasn't it a police lorry?
No. I'll come to that in a bit. I've had also trouble. And online games, because I'm a lazy person, and one of the laziest persons you can actually meet in real life. So you've probably seen me yesterday and today playing those games in the lobby area. One of the games which I'm not that good at, I just played it once, that's it. The other game that I'm actually good at and figured out how to do it, or how to get the points up, I played a couple more times and was in the second place yesterday, and I think third place before this talk. And online games, I always wanted to be top 10. So I either figured out how to cheat in those games, or how to automate, or how to get just like send stupid amounts of points to the results page. Yes, has been fun, and I felt like a hacker. That's actually the last GIF I have, so no worries. What next? Late 2009, I started. Well, I took the directory of Neti.ee. There is a government section with all the websites related to the government. And I started looking at cross-site scripting vulnerabilities and SQL injections. Well, I had bad things in mind, but yeah, can't really explain why I did it. I just wanted to find new vulnerabilities that I haven't found yet, and new ways to find them. So found more than 100 vulnerabilities within a week. This got me actually into trouble. Not with the police, but with some other organizations, which shall not be named anymore. And I reported all of the vulnerabilities to the webmasters. And of course legal entities, like when you have the info at emails and so on. Some of them I called up, like the foreign ministry, because they had this, all of the, what are these, foreign, Topconf. Yeah, foreign embassies. All of the Estonian embassies had a same website template. It was a different database, but the template was basically the same. So the only difference was the logo and some minor details. Found a vulnerability that you can actually post. Well, it was a stored cross-site scripting vulnerability, and I called up the foreign ministry saying that, look, there is a problem with your website. I emailed you, and within 20 minutes I actually spoke to the guy who was managing the whole system. This is one of the best work successes I've probably had. But yes, mostly I've gotten either bad feedback or no feedback at all by reporting to webmasters. And this was one of the main problems, because quite a lot of these services, especially government ones, I used myself. When you take websites like the what is it now? Majandus-Kommunikatsiooniministeerium. Economic Ministry, is it? Ministry of Economic Affairs. They have the registries and so forth, which I actually used myself. And I didn't want to find any bugs in them or any vulnerabilities in them. So I wanted to be secure myself. And when I reported something, I wanted to get some kind of feedback that, yes, we are dealing with this. Or, no, we are not, which I also got at times. And then I found out that there is a really nice organization called Cert Estonia, which is now under the governmental IT authority. Started reporting to them, found this kind of disclosure form, and didn't get any feedback, which was, well, again, a bit problematic in the beginning. Then finally, after a week or so, I started getting feedback from Cert. This guy, Anto Veldre, called me up and said, look, would it be possible that you send us the vulnerabilities in a patch, not every single one by their own? Because over this weekend, I've actually sent him, well, he was on duty, like this, on hold, and I've actually sent them, I think it was something like around 97 or 98 vulnerabilities on a night between Saturday and Sunday. And, well, he couldn't sleep, so he was a bit annoyed with me. But the feedback was positive. He said, he gave me guidelines, how to send it. That, of course, it was a good cause that I'm doing it. And, yes. Unofficial moral support for my cause. I explained myself that the main reason why I do this is, first of all, to learn how to do this, and second of all, to make the world a better place. So all the systems that I use, I don't want them to be vulnerable. I don't want my data to be leaking. I don't want to have this kind of, well, suspicion that something is not right. What I gained from that was invites to all kind of events. One of the websites that I found a vulnerability on was the Defense League website, including and also the, was it mil.ee, the military one. This got me an invite to the Defense League's cyber operations, or the Cyber Defense League meetings. This was one of those first invites that actually showed me where we are with the whole cybersecurity here in Estonia. Unfortunately, I have to say that it's quite a lot of talk and not a lot of actions. Which, yeah, they had fun at showing how cross-site scripting vulnerabilities work, but their own website was still vulnerable, I think 6 months after that event. I offered them to fix this, but no. Invite to the community. The information security community in Estonia is really reputation based. If you don't have a reputation or no one knows you, you're not part of the community. If someone goes, or if someone invites you to an event and says, look, I know this guy, he's okay, you will be part of the community. And actually this is really important as one of the steps to get started in information security in Estonia. First, get invites to the events, and then you'll also get an invite to the community. And the community gives a lot of advice and help. Whatever you need, well, most of the time. There are some topics that you can't discuss openly, but there are events involving saunas and sweaty men and talks that, yes. So why? I discovered web security being a really interesting topic. It wasn't a topic that I was looking for. I just discovered it by accident. It came naturally to me, and I started learning more about it on an almost daily basis. Again, I was worried about the services I use, or the security of the services that I use. I wanted to learn more, and to learn more every day. I can honestly say that with almost on a daily basis, when I don't read about new vulnerabilities, it kind of feels like it's missing something. And it sounds a bit geeky or this kind of like nerdy, but you get this kind of addiction to it. Finding out how to do new interesting, or how to implement new interesting things in your everyday work, but also how to exploit websites or systems in general in new interesting ways. There is also quite a lot of boring work, which is actually the implementing part. Many of you have probably heard about the recent all kind of these bash bugs and heartbleeds and so forth. So to actually check all your systems if they are vulnerable, it's not that interesting. But to play around with the bug and see, oh, I can actually get some data out of this. Fun part. And yes, I wanted the world to be a better place. So, conclusion. Definitely the to-dos. If you want to get started in information security, is finding like-minded people. Be passionate about it. Show your passion, meaning, well, if you find something, then of course share your results, but also don't be arrogant. I've met quite a lot of people in the community who have this kind of attitude, saying that I am the greatest, or I am the best at what I do, and in really they are not. This kind of trying to be the best, yeah, doesn't really work when you show your attitude. Really important is being responsible. Whatever you do, you are actually responsible. There are some really simple laws about security. One of them is definitely that by disclosing a vulnerability on a website doesn't make it still legal. Just to inform you. What I learned is double check your results, because quite a lot of false positives you can find. And don't, again, don't be arrogant, don't play poker, because quite a lot of those websites are actually vulnerable to stuff. And don't use your powers for evil. Because one of the reasons when you go to the dark side and start using your powers for evil, it's a really hard way to come back. No one actually wants to employ you when you have a proven track record for like black hat stuff. And lessons learned. Well, no system is 100% secure. I can honestly say that almost all the time there is only two answers to the question, has your website been hacked? And the answers are yes and I don't know. I work in a bank. I actually use this. Meaning that, yeah, I can honestly say that either our websites have been hacked or I don't know. And yeah. Make it big and paint it red. If you find a vulnerability and you can easily show it, then highlight it by making it huge on the screen, for example. And it has to have a red background, easily distinguishable. Unfortunately, I haven't got the screenshots anymore. But one of the websites that had vulnerabilities, and a lot of them, was the Estonian police website. And they tried to fix them as quick as they could, but, well, after the first times we notified them, they didn't respond. So Anto Veldre again from Cert gave this idea that, look, why don't you make just a little website, have a red background, and say vulnerable in large letters. I did that. And then posted a cross-site scripting vulnerability with an iframe showing 100% above the police's website, and sent this to the webmaster. Got fixed in 10 minutes. Well, I thought that, ooh, when he fixed one vulnerability, did he also discover all the others? No, he didn't. So the webmaster at the police website got around 20 or 30 emails from me within, well, a day, fixing vulnerabilities on a live website. And again, checking websites for vulnerabilities is not legal. I have to say this. Unless you have a written consent from the owner of the website and notified all the parties, or the involved parties. This is really important because, as I've mentioned before, I've actually got into trouble for trying to find vulnerabilities on a website, because it was a government agency's honeypot that I actually put my fingers in. And yes, no one wants to write a novel on the topic of why did I go to this website and why did I use the backslash character in that string. So yes, please, 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 always get a written consent from the owner of the website. The main problem is actually that the information security has become a global sales item. And it's every vendor that nowadays has this kind of little black box and says, look, this is the best and this does all these amazing things and you don't need to worry about anything anymore. No hacker can come in and so on. And you still can read about all these kind of hacks that have happened. password leaks and cloud services and nude pictures and just something is not right. And I know this might not affect any of you at the moment, but it just might. And if you're actually interested in cybersecurity, those are my tips on what to do. First, join and participate in some of the interest groups and organizations, of course. Cyber Defense League being the first and best. There is an OWASP chapter, even in Estonia. I think there are a couple other organizations, like the Dev Club is having monthly events or something. So yes, join the community. Keep yourself motivated. To keep yourself motivated, you can also do wonderful stuff by just playing around with vulnerabilities to check that you can actually do that, or you can actually exploit those vulnerabilities. If possible, get certified. I know it's a fairly heavy cost at times, but if possible, get certified. There is chat rooms available. If any of you want to join some of them, I can let you know how. And get a good reputation. I'm actually faster than I was supposed to be. So yeah, I'm finishing my talk with this, that the last time, well, probably the first time I clicked on something strange, I ended up in info security. So please think before you click next time. Questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you talk about the legal, what's legal and what's not? Is a backslash kind of
the whole concept of what is legal and what is not is this, that a website is the property of the owner of the website. There is always terms and conditions applied when you go and visit the website. By Estonian law, I don't know how to say this properly in English, but it is by law forbidden to is it divulge or like go around protective measures. This includes passwords, this includes admin websites, and so on. And even if you use a backslash, which can be an escaped character at times, you can try to like maneuver around. It's a really gray area.
It's pretty much the same if they're like picking someone's lock and when you come to the door you just say, I was just knocking.
Yes.
Friends knock,
It always ends up on this, that who has the best lawyer. And if you're actually not one of those multimillionaires that live in Estonia, you'll probably be the guilty one. It is a really problematic situation, and this is one of those moments where everyone talks about this. Oh, I've tried. We did pen testing on this website, and there are like non-disclosure agreements on that topic. There is all kind of service contracts. It's the huge amount of paperwork that you actually need to fill out to any kind of penetration testing, for example. If you're just some script kiddie, like I still believe I am, and want to find like cross-site scripting vulnerabilities on government websites, then yes, feel free. You might get a call from someone. But yeah, the legal side is really, really, really complicated. You can't really do anything legally. Any other questions?
What are the most common examples of cross-site predictive web analytics, for example? Or what are the languages that have most of them easier to make fast?
Well, because I started in web security and now I'm actually heading up the Department for Information Security, I can't say that there is any specific language which has more bugs. It's always the way that developers actually develop the code. This is one of the things that I'm trying to get through in Big Bank nowadays, to say that, look, I can't be responsible for the code that the developers write. I can't, well, because I'm not writing the code, I can't be responsible that the code is secure. If I would write the code, I'm responsible. Because I'm not writing the code, I'm not responsible. It always depends on the developer. If you got a crappy developer, they can, honestly, they can write vulnerabilities in assembler for I care. Doesn't really. It's really easy nowadays to have vulnerabilities in PHP because it's such a widespread language for all kind of web-related services. And Java has a bit better. Well, the stats are a bit better in Java, but again, depends. Questions? No?
Someone
Ooh.
from Cyber Defense Estonia has said that if it's online, then it's vulnerable. Would you agree?
Yes. Yes. The amount of, when you look at the feed that like the daily feed that comes for vulnerabilities, in no any day there is, well, like any specific day, there is no such thing as only one item on the feed every day. I think the least amount of vulnerabilities per day I've seen was around 20. So everything that is online is vulnerable. That's for sure. And it can be really like tiny stuff. It might not be your code that's vulnerable. It might be the web server. It might be the I don't know, CGI function on the web server only, or SSL certificate validation. Well, thank you.